Greetings, programs. Today, we're getting into the Unkillables as we're continuing the Deceased universe story. So, we open up with the narration letting us know that Deathstroke went to Kentucky with a $9 million contract because someone or someones have been burning the churches in the area, and whoever the religious leader is said that instead of turning the other cheek, I'll send somebody to let you be judged by someone else. And the thing is that someone jumps out the building, lands, and the thing is that Deathstroke is used to people trying to run from him or being in great fear when they see him. The thing is though, this person is still crawling or trying to run even with a shattered leg. Then another person runs out. Deathstroke's put one to his dome. Then the rest of them are running out. And the thing is that Deathstroke is used to people either running or someone trying to box him up. But he realized that he's not the one they're running from. Steps into the church and there are zombie Nazis in this room. Then, Slade does his thing. He dispatches him left, right. And as he gets done, he's going to call up whoever gave him the contract, because the contract was just to get rid of some people, not zombies. And the thing is that in this moment, the infection hits him, because the thing is, it isn't widespread knowledge or understanding of what's going on just yet, because we're still in the early days. And what's crazy, what you may not notice, is the fact that the other zombies, once they realize that Slade was about to be infected, they all stop and stare. This shows a collective understanding, and I feel like this could come important later. Just imagine a hive mind unit of an infection, but everything goes black, and Slade starts to wake up, everything starts coming to color, and he's strangling some dude. And then we realize that Slade can come back from the infection. The thing is that, for those that don't know, due to the experimentation he went through while in the military, Slade not just has enhancements physically, like strength, senses, X, Y, and Z, he also has a healing factor. But back in Gotham, we see Jason, the Red Hood, because he's one of the many family members that were missing in the beginning that we haven't seen yet. As he's going through the cave, he's trying to see where everyone is, and he realizes that his father and his brothers are both dead. But then Jason hears a growl, and we realize Ace was left behind. Which, questionably, Alfred, what are you doing? Why didn't you take Ace with you? But in any case, Jason and him commune, and they both have saddened looks as they look upon their family's deaths. Jason begins to bury them and leave tombstones for them, or wood stones, I guess, however you want to say it. And he decides to go to the back mobile and try to see how many more people are out there. There's 8, but only 2 have heartbeats, which is like beyond heartbreaking, realizing how quickly things went down. Then the 2 of them race off, and on Bruce's tombstone, we see that he wrote Bruce Wayne, father, mentor, bastard, Batman. And I feel like this structure, what he wrote it as, not just, would be how it usually would be written on a tombstone, but also I feel like represents the relationship, him meeting him and understanding him as oh, this is Bruce Wayne. Then he understood him as his father, then a mentor, then the bastard, representing their struggle relationship, and him finally simply being the Batman. But in another part of Gotham, we are met with Rose Wilson, daughter of Deathstroke, seemingly in fear of what's going on. Deathstroke gets in contact with her, telling her, time to go. But she lets him know that she can see her future, and basically in every future that she sees, every time she opens this door, she dies. And Slade just tells her, get to the roof and bring every gun that you can. And then as she's on the roof, which, hold on, love her fit because it has sneakers involved. I don't know why, but whatever super costumes, suits of any kind from superheroes or supervillains or whoever they are on the spectrum, I love when they got sneakers on. But the thing is that as Slade is telling her to get up to the helicopter, he sees in the distance a bat flying, and it's not Batman, it's the Man-Bat, and he looks like something out of a horror movie with the way he comes down onto Slade and tears him up. The copter comes down, Rose screams out for him. Rose, realizing or believing that Slade is done for, she prepares to dispatch him, but he yells out. She's realizing he's not the undead, and that he lets her know that he's like, whatever his healing factor has going on, it can reverse what's going on in the whole world. And then we get a voice coming from behind them. the Mirror Master. Of course, the Mirror Master survives. Now, imagine if he got eaten. He'd be a problem. But he lets Slade know that Vandal Savage has an offering of him basically to get safe haven. And, he extends it to his daughter. Basically, he lets him know, you ain't got nowhere else to go. You have no other way to survive. Just come with me, essentially. And he gives the two of them goggles that will allow them to see the anti-life equation and not be affected by it. But as we enter the mirror world, we see that every mirror across the world that he has access to is a sore sight, meaning that no one is safe. No one. But as we get to Vandal Savage, he speaks of the tree lobster that he has on his hand and goes into this whole story about how the people thought that they were extinct and that they found a way to survive. And I haven't brought much attention to the narrator, because we've been getting these narrating boxes since the first page of this comic. And I want y'all to let me know, who do you think is narrating? Because who it ends up being, I am flabbergasted and surprised. But in any case, though, we introduced to Vandal Savage's team Solomon Grundy, a true zombie, the Creeper from Gotham, Cheetah, Captain Cold, Lady Shiva, Bane, and Deadshot. This is a unkillable team right here. And the thing is that what I find most hilarious is that the Creeper starts going in about this whole tree lobster stuff, basically saying, oh, we're the tree lobsters. And Vandal Savage is getting annoyed, and it's just he just didn't mean to take it literally. It's just, we're survivors. And somehow the Creeper somehow already has shirts made, hats, and flags made. And he's trying to come up with his theme song. And as Slade and Vandal Savage begin to speak more about, why he's here, and we realize that, like Slade, the Creeper can purge the virus from his body. And Vandal Savage goes into a whole thing about how he's over 50,000 years old, and this isn't the first extinction event he's faced, and that he's prepared to inherit the Earth in whatever it looks like after this. But back in Gotham, we see that Cassandra Cain is helping Gordon and Bullock fight off the rest of the GCPD infected. Bullock lets Jim Gordon know that if they go to the cell, they'll be trapped. In this moment, Gordon's we'll be trapped, but it'll buy time. And Bullock had to look Gordon in the face while Cassandra's kneeing someone in the face and let him know that she's the only one here that's gonna save them. But then Bullock ends up getting scratched and infected. Gordon puts that person down, and Bullock is begging to be killed. And Cassandra says, I got you, basically, and ends it. Then Jason Todd comes through the Kool-Aid Man, ready to get everyone out, letting Jim Gordon know that there is no Batman coming. And the thing is that Jim Gordon's trying to figure out what is the plan, and Jason says, getting out of Gotham, that's the plan. And the thing is that he's my daughter's somewhere out there. But Jason lets him know, and lets Cassandra know, that Barbara Gordon is dead. And Cassandra and Gordon are just both in shock. And even seeing Ace with his face so sad, it's so terrible to see a dog so sad. Then Gordon tries to play it off on why is there a monitor on Barbara, but Jason is you're a smart man, a good detective. Batman's dead. You don't have to play his games anymore. Which, for anyone that doesn't understand, how long has Gordon worked along with Bruce and the rest of the family to the point where he has to know some, if not all, of their identities just because of that time? And also, he is a good detective. He wouldn't just let this kind of thing just slip by him. And so, everyone takes their mask off. He's naming names. And Jason lets him know that Damian's alive in Metropolis with Superman. But the thing is that they're the only three alive in Gotham. But then the question comes, why am I being monitored? And Jason lets him know that Batman is terrible at expressing anything with words, which is very true, and has a best relationship with people's boundaries. But even though he's violated boundaries and put a monitor on Jim Gordon, Bruce considered him family. And why Gordon tries questioning it, who knows? But they go to where Barbara, Kane, and Huntress and Selena are. And Gordon just has a moment to grieve, but Cassandra's not right now. We have to get moving. But then Jason sees the Joker is dead and is just pissed off that it wasn't him, even though he's had plenty of opportunities, in my opinion. But before they leave, Jason says, I'm leaving here with something. And he attaches the Joker's body to the Batmobile. And Gordon just has having none of it, and Jason's basically, it's the apocalypse, and it just keeps pushing it. But they get to Bloodhaven, sister city to Gotham. And the thing is that they realize that in that building, surrounded by the infected, and that there are survivors inside because of the way they're trying to get inside. And so Gordon's like, no, we can't leave them. And then something that's very interesting is that Jason says, Carr, disable all non-lethal safety protocols. Override password, remember Joe Chill. And I find that so interesting that Bruce's password to access lethal protocol is the man that used lethal protocol, or not protocol, but like used lethal force against his family. Like, I don't know, something about that is just so interesting. But in any case, we see that the bat missiles blow up the infected. They drive over to the side where the garage is. A bunch of the kids are prepared to fight them, and we realize this is Bloodhaven's orphanage. And Gordon lets Jason know, take the body off the car, please. And Gordon lets him know he's a policeman. Then he calls Jason Robin, let them know it's Batgirl. And the face that they both make is hilarious, because honestly, I understand Gordon not wanting to call him Red Hood. I understand that completely. And so, they talk to Letitia as she introduced herself, and asked if she's in charge, and she said, I guess. And as they're going through the building, we find a room that's boarded off. Jason asks how they do it, but she lets us know that there was a hero that came in, put the infected into this room, and brought them food, but then never returned. And the thing is that, who do you think this hero was? Let me know in the comment. And Cassandra and Gordon come to an agreement that this is where they make their stand. And Jason lets the girl know, orphans have to stick together. But let me know what y'all think of Deceased so far. And stay nerdy. Like, comment, and share.